Tim Ferriss, the author of the new book, The 4-Hour Body. Tim, this is not WeightWatchers.com, it's TechCrunch.com. So let's think about the body in entrepreneurial terms and in technological terms. Reading through the book, I'm getting the sense that you're treating the body like a startup. Is that fanciful or accurate?
I'd say it's accurate, and accurate in the sense that in a startup, I'm involved with startups.
And you're an investor, right?
I am.
You're
I'm involved
an
with
angel.
I am an angel investor, so Twitter, StumbleUpon, Evernote, a lot of these companies. And I think one of the characteristics that makes a very effective startup is understanding your inputs and your outputs and measuring the things that matter. And you can make mistakes. So for example, as a startup, if you measure just page views in some broad sense, that's not nearly as interesting or actionable as, let's say, 7-day actives. And I think in the body, nutrition is where surgery was in the 1600s. It's very primitive. So when people say calories in, calories out, as one example, they don't realize that that doesn't mean the only way to get rid of calories is exercise. You can also use heat. You can also use excretion. You can also tweak digestion. There are a lot of ways to play with that equation. And so I would say that having a very clear idea of not just the numbers, but the numbers that matter, and Warren Buffett's very famous for emphasizing that, is critically important. So also looking at things like body fat percentage as opposed to weight. So you'll find people very frequently get demoralized when they're dieting or exercising, and if they were to only look at their body fat composition, they would realize that they're gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time. So really learning to focus on the right numbers would be one of the things that makes my approach to the human body similar to, I think, a successful CEO or founder's approach to a startup.
So you're really encouraging everyone to be innovative with respect to their body, and given the importance in our knowledge economy of innovation, indeed, more and more people are calling it the innovation economy, might it be a one way for people to rethink themselves in the knowledge economy?
I think it's absolutely a way for people to not only rethink themselves, but reinvent themselves. And there's this misconception that there's a high priesthood of medicine or published literature that is the end-all, be-all of truth when it comes to the human body, and it's simply not true. So when you take, for example, the concept of the post-workout shake, so you have a post-workout protein shake, the fact of the matter is, when you actually look at how it's absorbed, most people don't have those nutrients hit their bloodstream until an hour, hour and a half later. And the only way you figure that out is by doing self-experimentation. But since I've done thousands of blood tests and had other people do hundreds of experiments, you don't have to be the guinea pig to benefit from one. But I do think that we're entering into an era right now with cheap technology, self-tracking that allows you to really take control of your own data and make very rapid improvements that people don't think would otherwise be possible. So you hear a lot of general practitioners, and I have plenty of medical doctors who I tremendously respect, but there are many who would say, oh, it's impossible to lose more than 2 pounds of fat per week. You hear this echoed. It's an old wives' tale of sorts. If you have, let's say, 50 to 100 pounds of fat to lose, if you're not losing 5 pounds per week for the first month, you're doing something wrong. And it's very easy to demonstrate that. So I think it's a fun cookbook of minimalist methods for people to play with that will deliver measurable results very, very quickly. And it's important that it's measurable and trackable.
Just as the digital economy has assaulted traditional media, would it be fair to say that this book is, in some senses, an assault on traditional medicine?
I think it's an assault on traditional diagnostics, and that would include much of medicine. Sadly, the practice of Western medicine tends to focus on associating a condition or a symptom with a drug treatment. It's very seldom predictive. So one of the things that this book allows people to do very easily is trend. So if you go to, let's say, a doctor and you're looking at blood values, and they'll look at your, let's just take testosterone values, and they'll say, no problem, no problem, no problem. They will not treat you or address the issue until you go into an unacceptable range. Whereas if you were to actually track it, you could see the trending, and you could fix it very, very easily, very, very quickly, and inexpensively. So I tripled my testosterone using diet alone, which is something I think a lot of men will benefit from. But it's very simple. It doesn't need to be complex, but it's definitely an assault on how problems are addressed currently, at least in Western society.
You tripled your testosterone. Did you triple your girlfriends too? Or boyfriends?
No. I didn't triple girlfriends or boyfriends, certainly not. As far as the girlfriends go, I think probably one of the other chapters is more appropriate. The number of chapters on sexual performance in addition to sleep and so forth. No, I did also double my sperm count though. And so just a...
Can we have a practical demonstration?
I think we'll save the demos for slow motion camera later. But the quick tip for readers, at least male readers, would be keep cell phones off if they're in your pocket or keep them out of your pocket.